Military vessels abruptly cut across the Strait of Hormuz. Within hours, a massive fleet of cargo ships stalls, and global trade grinds to a halt. Your first thought might be surging oil prices, but for India, a blockade in this narrow waterway triggers a catastrophic food shortage, threatening to pull the nation back to the decades when it relied on foreign grain donations to stave off starvation. Every Indian crop survives on nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. These essential inputs travel along 6 international maritime routes, converging onto the subcontinent. India controls almost none of them. Our agricultural output depends completely on these vulnerable supply lines remaining open. If those foreign maritime choke points close, the fertilizer stops. If the fertilizer stops, the crops fail. India's national food security is a fragile illusion held hostage by distant geopolitical conflicts. Since 1951, Indian food production grew 5x, but chemical fertilizer usage spiked 280x. This massive gap is a terrifying financial drain. Subsidizing imported urea down to 242 rupees has cost taxpayers 6.77 lakh crore rupees since the Russia-Ukraine war. Pouring these subsidized chemicals by the handful directly onto fields is actively destroying the land it is meant to enrich. In Punjab, applying nitrogen at 8 times the natural rate wipes out the soil microbiome and washes toxic nitrates directly into local groundwater. Because the soil is effectively dead, it loses its ability to retain nutrients. To get the exact same harvest next season, farmers are forced to dump even more imported chemicals onto their weakened fields. It is a self-destructing doom loop. The chemical cure is killing the host, meaning Indian agriculture has to abandon this volume-heavy, import-dependent system to survive. A century ago, the world actually faced a global famine. That was averted when a chemist named Fritz Haber and an engineer named Karl Bosch figured out how to synthesize ammonia from the air. It was a chemical reaction that saved millions, but it also locked modern agriculture into the rigid industrial dependency we are stuck in today. Now, scientists have developed a modern pivot, Nano Urea. By breaking a standard urea granule down into 30 to 50 microscopic nanoparticles, plants can absorb the nitrogen directly. Instead of a wasteful 30% absorption rate through the soil, efficiency jumps to 90%. That leap in efficiency solves the economic crisis. A tiny bottle of Nano Urea replaces a full 45-kilogram bag of traditional fertilizer, completely erasing the government's 2,200 rupee subsidy burden. But there is a massive catch. You cannot scatter Nano Urea onto the dirt. To work, it has to be deployed as a microscopic mist and applied directly onto the plant's leaves with exact, measured precision. India finally has the exact chemical solution required to save its soil and its national budget. What it lacks is a reliable way to deploy that mist perfectly across millions of acres. This is where a digital platform called the Virtual Farm Network, developed by Ojas Aerospace, steps in. It takes the physical reality of an Indian farm and generates a data-rich digital twin. The system maps every square centimeter of the land using a strict hierarchy. It breaks the digital farm down into precisely measured tiles, then cubes, and finally microscopic pixels, providing absolute spatial awareness. That digital map is fed directly into the Vigo Precision Agricultural Drone, the physical hardware purpose-built to act on this data. Using highly accurate RTK navigation and AI-generated spray prescriptions, these drones don't rely on human guesswork. They calculate exact flight paths and execute complex routes entirely autonomously. The drone hovers perfectly over the crop canopy, delivering microdoses of Nano Urea exactly where the AI dictates. There is no human error, no overspraying, and zero toxic chemical runoff. By linking digital twin mapping with autonomous aerial hardware, India finally has the mechanism to decouple crop yields from toxic chemical volumes. But a high-tech AI-driven drone is entirely useless if a farmer in a remote village cannot access it, charge its batteries, or fix a broken propeller. This graphic outlines the scale of the challenge. 140 million agricultural households operate on hyper-fragmented land, and less than 2% have access to any form of modern technology. To bridge that gap, Ojas Aerospace is deploying the Meghdev Drone Station network. It is a rapidly deployable, modular infrastructure grid built directly into shipping containers. Operating through village-level HAL centers and larger district-level FAME hubs, this network creates a complete physical ecosystem right where the farmers live. It provides drone sales, DGCA-certified pilot training, and immediate hardware repairs under one roof. By placing these nodes within reach of every village, the barrier of distance disappears. It allows 140 million small-scale farmers to operate with the collective power of a unified, high-tech agricultural grid. The 20th century model required pouring millions of tons of imported chemicals into the dirt. The 21st century model relies on deploying precise domestic data directly from the sky. If a conflict blocks the Strait of Hormuz tomorrow, a decentralized drone network running on highly efficient Nano Urea means the fields stay green. The nation can continue to feed itself without relying on vulnerable foreign shipping lanes. Indian agriculture is moving past dead soil and foreign dependency. By securing the ground with data and the sky with infrastructure, India ensures its food supply is dictated by its own innovation, not global geography.